Ten Hag and Manchester United have lost 2 of the 3 games already played this season. Now, they lost against Liverpool 3 goals to 0. In that game, they were outplayed, outclassed, at everything in that game. The question is Ten Hag the right person to take Manchester United forward? Okay, guys, if you look at that game, the same old Manchester United, they are already in -2 goal difference already. This is just 3rd game in the season. They have -2 goal aggregate. Do you think that Ten Hag is still the right person? We keep talking about it. If you look at the end of last season, they start to discuss about him, and it took a while. I think he was the first coach that I've actually remembered. They had to sit to deliberate days to check if he's going to stay or leave. But they decided to keep him. But the same old Manchester United, they still bought all these players, the same mistakes, the same coaching style. In fact, I don't even know the Manchester United pattern, the way they play. Now, do you think that Ten Hag is still the right man to take them forward, John?
For me, it's same old Manchester United, same old excuses, same old mistakes, same old incompetence, same old failure to bury chances, same old. Like, I don't know. At this point in time, it's like watching a rerun of the same horrible movie 1,000 times over. Okay. The game at the weekend, I saw the game. I was feeling bad for Manchester United because they brought this on themselves. Now, I do not think that Erik Ten Hag is the right man to take Manchester United forward.
What are your reasons?
I'm going to present my reasons, but I just want to put things in perspective here right now. This is the same Manchester United that we saw last season. Players not playing with the right mentality, players not running enough, players not recovering on the ball, players that are arguing among themselves on the pitch, players that are being played out of position. They do not have a leader in that side. I can say it any day and carry my cap anywhere I'm going to. They do not have leadership in that side. Now, this is the same Manchester United. We are seeing it again. They thought that with a FA Cup win, they can bury all the frailties of last season and finish on a high. And then the same Erik Ten Hag had to go through. You gave them a kind word when you said they reviewed him for days. It was 3 weeks.
Oh, yes, I remember.
3 full weeks of review. At the end of the day, within that 3 full weeks, they were also speaking to Tuchel and a couple of other managers in Europe. And at the end of the day, because they had that cup and everybody was happy, the fan base was happy, they stayed action on Erik Ten Hag. And Erik Ten Hag has come off that event more confident in himself, in his ability, more confident in the sense that he understands the board and he feels untouchable. And he's come into this season now making those same old mistakes. Now, the players who bailed him out last season, every single one of them has been exited from the club. Scotty is out. Sancho is out. A couple of other players are
Sancho
also out.
Bail him.
I'm coming to my point. Allow me land. Yes. A couple of them that bailed him out. Wan-Bissaka is out. Scotty is out. A couple of other young players too weren't even in the side. Now, looking at that game, the only thing he did right for me was that he played the people that he started off the bench in the last few games. He started them.
And he started 3 goals.
He started them, and that wasn't his fault. It was a fault from Casemiro. He started Garnacho. I've been crying for Garnacho to start. Garnacho started. He started Zexi, though he played Rashford off the flank instead of up front, and then bringing Zexi into that place. And Zexi was not in full fitness when he started him, but he gave him a start. He brought Bruno back to his normal position, and then they went on to go and lose that game the way they lost it that way yesterday. The annoying thing for me that put me over the edge was when he came out into the press just a few hours after the match to say that I am not Harry Potter. We said it when they gave him 2 new coaching staff, that he has no excuse. We said it when they spent another 180 million pounds this summer, that he has no excuse, and the season has started with no return for any of these investments. And you sit down and you ask yourself, how can you strengthen a manager, give him all the support he needs, get players for him, and at the end of the day, the man can't even deliver a result to save himself?
Okay.
I feel that was crazy.
You just got him 2 coaching staff and 6 players in total. Yeah, Delete, Mazraoui, Euro, who's injured, and maybe what's it called now? Ugati. Bugatti is not even in the side. Then Zeski, that's 5 players, and you just want them to start performing immediately. Come on now. He's told you he's not Harry Potter. It's normal. Teams need time. They need time. See, we talk about coaches coming into the side. You want them to give them. You don't want to give them enough time. You want to see instant impact. You look at other coaches that have won trophies. They took time to get there. We just talked about other coaches now. You understand? And players that they brought in. You understand? Someone took 4 years. Johan Klopp is a great coach for Liverpool. He took 4 years to build his team. He took 4 years to get his first trophy. And so Ten Hag is the second season. We're not talking about 2 seasons, 2 cups now. We're talking about the progress. We've seen that in his first season, he didn't really get players he needed. They got players for him on loan. That's Man United. They got the likes of Weghorst for him, the likes of Sabitzer, the other players they got in on loan. Last season also, you got in, he needed, throughout last season, Man United played with just one defensive midfielder, Casemiro. The others were centre midfielders trying to make makeshift. This season now, they've got another defensive midfielder, and he's not in the side, and yet Casemiro was off game. We know he's off game, so he just, because of the errors players make, you put the blame on the coach. After he made the sub yesterday, the other day, he brought in a 19-year-old player, Kula, which settled it, but they still considered goals. The players he brought in this season, the players they stripped out, they considered their goals. The players he brought in, I said this before, and I said this, that these players need time to fit into the Premier League. The Premier League is not as calm as the Bundesliga. The Premier League is not as merciful as the La Liga. The Premier League is not as peaceful or as wholesome as the Serie A. These players came in from different leagues. They need, the Premier League is another dimension of its own. So they need time to gel together. They need time to play together. We saw the likes. I keep mentioning other teams and other players. We're talking about Real Madrid and the new addition that he's not been firing. Recently, he just fired 2 goals in. So it takes time for these players to get together. And I told you about the stats, about the 9-week stats. Now I see that even with Delete playing his first game, there were still some couple of errors he made that on a normal day, Delete will not make those errors. Mazraoui have been starting since. He's better than Man United fans. I'm coming for you guys. He's better than Wan-Bissaka. You saw those errors he made. It was from the same. It was a run-in from behind him that got 2 goals. Diaz the 2 goals. The run-in from behind him, and Salah, Dalot playing as left back. Now you see that all these problems, left back, no proper left back on the side, and nobody's talking about this. They're not in the market looking for left back. They're still saying they'll give the right backs the opportunity to try and show up in that position and get the wins, or perhaps get their positioning. Fine, this is good, but it's not the coach's fault that the team is giving them the instruction to play with. It's giving them the style to play with. They're playing with that style. But some players in positions are not supposed to be in those positions. The left back, they need to get in players in there already.
Let me stay with you also on this thing. I understand where both of you are coming from, but he is in his third season now.
Yes.
If Manchester United don't, because if you look at the packs are running. Arsenal are winning games. Manchester City are winning their games. Liverpool obviously are winning their games. If he does not qualify for top 4, do you think that Manchester United will still keep him as a coach?
At the end of the season, he has 2 years left in his contract. At the end of the season, he has 1 more year left in his contract. If they want to perhaps terminate his contract at the end of the season, I don't have a problem with that. But for the first 3 games of the season, you just can't judge.
Okay.
The 38 games. It's just what I'm saying. Last season, we keep complaining about the coaches last season, but we are forgetting that he had plenty of injury crisis last season. And this season, he had 2 assistant coaches. Yet the medical staffs are yet to get to job. They're yet to get their jobs done. They're yet to get into work, because it seems like it's the same old medical staffs that are still there. He has a new goalkeeping coach. Fine. He has a new set piece coach. The other players, defensive coach. I think Venezuela is taking on the defensive coach Justina, which means they need to up their defensive role. But I'm just saying, at the end of the 38 games, you see how it goes. Or perhaps at the end of December, at the end of 18 games or 19 games, at game week 19, if there is still a downward trend, then you can say, okay, fine, this man is not doing the right job. But if there's an upward trend, then you say, fine, the players he's brought in are doing their job, and maybe the team is perhaps getting on the wins again. But for now, let's not come and criticize the man, because he's had his season. His first season with the Gate kept a clean sheet, collected the Golden Glove, and left. He came into the Premier League with the next season with Onana and multiple injury crises. Nobody talked about it. Now we've forgotten about the injury crisis of Man United last season. The same injury crisis that other teams went through, 2 or 3 injury crises, and it was like, oh, all hell was let loose. Just 2 injuries. Man United went through almost 30 different injury cases.
I disagree.
Last season. Now this season has started. New players are in already. These new players cannot just come in immediately and start working miracles. My friend was telling me the other day, I don't know where they came from. Was it not football they were playing there? Yes, they were football. It was football they were playing there. But when you get into a new team, you need to adapt to the style of play of the new team.
Okay, no, so I understand. Okay, no, so now, John, if you look at what Nonso is saying, he is saying that let's say that it takes them 10 weeks to adapt, for example, and they don't get the result. The point is that will Manchester United give him enough time? Because they're always calling for his head already. Fans, if you go on social media,
as they should. No fan should be happy. No Manchester United fan should be happy. Now, I take a difference to when you're talking about somebody's career and you're putting him side by side other people who are not in the same situation with him. Because Manchester United is a totally different precarious situation. If you want to compare Ten Hag's time at Manchester United, put it in a proper perspective alongside other managers who fell down that terrible role at Manchester United. No offense to Manchester United fans, but it is what it is. So I feel like at the end of this season, in fact, I would just want to, at the end of this season, if they are not there or thereabouts, Ten Hag should go, because clearly he's confused and he doesn't know what he wants out of the Manchester United job. I take an offense and a difference to a manager. You're preparing for your match, you're preparing for your game, and you're talking about who has it better off than you. That shows you already have a defeatist mentality. You're coming out to the press to say, this guy inherited a better squad from club, and this other one, Arteta Arsenal gave him time. Blah 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 blah. Focus on your assignment, focus on what you have to do, and make the most out of it, because at the end of the day, that's what they are going to look at. Now, you tell me that you shouldn't judge a manager's season early. It's too early. He's had a bad start, judge him after 38 games. Manchester United do not have 38 games to decide whether they are going to come away with anything this season. You've seen clubs like Chelsea and other clubs that you look at the players, the team's charts. There's a saying that says that the way a tree lies is the way it falls. The chart is going negative already. It's not a question of, do we cut this trend and make the right change, or do we let this trend play out? Let's burn one more season as a failure and then get this man out and start again from the beginning, because that's what the way is looking, if you ask me.
Okay, no, so did you see any progress in the last 3 years of Ten Hag? First season, second season, and the way they have played in I know it's just 3 games, but have you seen any progress in this team, the way they play?
Last season it was just one creator effect. Bruno Fernandes has most of the chances created in the Premier League, about 102 chances, and he was topping the second position with about 20 chances created. Odegaard had 98. You understand? Now, last 2 seasons, the same thing. He was topping the chart, he and Kevin De Bruyne, topping the chart of chances created. Now, Kevin had more goals involvement and assist involvement last season, but this is a player that you need to take the workload off him a bit. Man United will say this, and Man United fan will say this now, but this is a player that you trust, but you also need him to be. You also need a competition for him as well. So, which means Mason Mount should at least be coming off the bench, not starting alongside him. This was what the mistake they did against Brighton. So against Liverpool, you needed a workhorse, which you already let go out of the transfer market, Scott McTominay. And I think for Man United, it's not a forward movement and it's not a backward movement. It's just where they are. They are still where they are. But the introduction of new defenders, Delete and it was all hype about Delete and Mazraoui coming in. It was all hype. But against Liverpool yesterday, it was just passing the ball between Delete, Mazraoui, and Martinez. There was no forward passes, except for the times maybe Martinez wants to take a risk and he sends a long ball to Garnacho up front, a long ball to Rashford in the flank. So there was no forward movement, and this is a team that wants to play progressive, build from the back and progress gradually to the opposition's half until they get it. It's called pass from the gate to from the post to the opposition post. They've not gotten it right. It will take time. I know it will take time, but the fan base needs to be patient, and patience doesn't mean be patient till the game week 32. The season has already started. We are not seeing the full style of play yet, but we are seeing glimpses of it, and glimpses of it is not enough. I understand that glimpses of what I want to play like. I want to play like Ronaldo, or Ronaldo. I want to play like Ronaldo, but I'm showing small signs of Garnacho. It's not enough. If you want to play like Ronaldo, you need to show more than small signs of Garnacho. You need to show better signs of Garnacho times 10, and Garnacho and Kylian Mbappe, or Garnacho with a touch of Haaland. You get that means you want to play like Ronaldo. So for now, Man United want to play this style of football, But once in maybe 3 games, we see those little glimpses of what they want to play like. But it's not enough. We want to be seeing it every game week.
Okay, if you look at what Ten Hag is doing at Manchester United, depending on how your opinion is, most fans, if you go on social media, they are already calling for his sack because they don't think that they are seeing any progress. But these things take time. It depending on how Arteta was given maybe 2-3 years for him to build. But Manchester United are not really a patient club like Arsenal. So he has this probably 6 months for him to get this right. I feel if Manchester United are out of top 4 by January next season, I think they might let him go, and that's why they brought in Van Nistelrooy and Rene as his assistant coach in case they want to let go of the Hag. Okay, let's see how that progresses. We are going for international break. When we come back, probably we'll look at what Manchester United will do in the next 5 games. Hopefully they play well because Manchester United fans don't suffer. See you guys next time.